Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for the segment, we have Eric Pulier. He's the CEO of Vatom. He's back with us to discuss what investors and businesses can expect to see in 2023 with Web3. Eric, it is great to see you again. Welcome back to Trade Talks.
Thanks for having me.
You got it. And Vatom had a big year in 2022. Give us a quick overview of what you do.
Oh, well, what we do is we provide a Web3 platform that the world's largest companies and brands are building on to reach their customers and constituents more deeply.
What major events impacted the Web3 space last year?
Well, there were a number of things that both on the positive and negative side are transforming the entire view of Web3 and how it's evolving. So starting with the positive, what we saw in the Ukraine and Russia conflict was that there was a vital need for the ability to move value through the system in a novel way to get much needed resources to Ukraine. And that was really seen in the outpouring of Bitcoin and other forms of value that was brought to Ukraine. And I thought that was really interesting. There was also some really interesting hedges against inflation with stablecoins moving into places such as Venezuela and other places where the inflation rates are very high. Now, if you look at the other side, you see the collapse of FTX was absolutely dramatic, and it really shifts the mindset of many people of the need for regulation in the space, including myself, where, wow, it's quite a calamity. Hopefully it will bring the regulatory bodies together with the industry to put much needed safeguards in place.
Given the challenges, what should investors and businesses expect to see in 2023?
What we're going to see with Web3 in 2023 is a shift from this notion of speculation and get-rich-quick schemes to the substance of Web3 can really bring. The substance meaning the natural evolution of Web 1 and Web 2 to the next generation of efficacy across real business outcomes. With Web 1, we saw static pages and the ability to reach people in a ubiquitous low-cost network. With Web 2, we saw the advent of e-commerce and user-generated content and social media, so powerful to reach people and engage in new ways. But with Web 3, we really come to the next step. And this is where the value comes in. The substance of Web 3 is upon us in 2023. In 2023, we're going to see, and I know this is a bit of a bold statement, but we're going to see the minority of companies of the Fortune 500 stepping away to wait and see. That was the minority in 2022. The vast majority are now going to use these techniques, the Web3 wallet, the NFTs for engagement, the next generation of CRM. They're going to use these tools to actually engage their customers dramatically more effective, in dramatically more effective ways, I should say.
Yeah, and I would agree with you because businesses are always looking for distribution channels, right? So this is just the next natural funnel, and we're seeing how they're starting to leverage, particularly leverage luxury brand Starbucks with their version of an NFT. So we're seeing it now, but for those that are going to wait and see, why do you think businesses should invest in Web3 now?
Why should they not be investing in Web3?
Why should they be investing now?
Why should they be? Well, look, it's an inevitable step. You can think of Web3 in around all this hype around cryptocurrencies and should I invest in this token or that token? I would advise not investing in all of these tokens. I think most of them are going to zero. That's not Web3. That was a temporary blip on the radar of people rushing in and seeing what this was all about and seeing if they could make a buck. You have to change your mindset of what Web3 is. And the reason why you must invest in Web3 is exactly the same reason why you should have invested in Web 2. It's because it's going to become part and parcel of the core communication strategy of every company on the planet. So you're going to invest in these technologies because they're going to fundamentally affect healthcare, government, education, the way that we actually collapse advertising, marketing, and loyalty into one, and bring the next generation of consumer engagement into the fore.
Right, and perfect segue to wrap up here. Outside of businesses growing adoption of Web3 for customer engagement, what other ways do you see Web3 impacting the way we work and live?
Well, it's going to be really important to see today this transition. I think 2023 is the year of how data is managed and how people think of themselves as owning their own data. In Web 2 and in the past, The data would be collected on your behalf, often without your knowledge, sold for somewhat nefarious purposes, really in order to entice you to do this or to buy that, but not with your permissions. Well, a combination of compliance, with Apple shutting off cookies, with people getting better at the techniques to move forward now, we're going to see a new age where the consumer is going to be empowered to own their own data, to choose who they want to do business with, and to manage that more effectively. That's going to affect all of our lives across every sector of the economy.
All right, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you.